Hello interwebs, welcome to the editor's desk. Before we get into this video, I just want to quickly point out that this video is not about finding a solution quickly. It's about investigating the problem to learn more about it, how it behaves, and what it looks like. Because sometimes just blindly fixing a problem doesn't teach you anything at all. And sometimes there's a lot of value in spending time observing how a problem manifests. So the next time you see it and the solution isn't so obvious, you'll know what it looks like, and you'll also know different ways that you can work around the problem. The solution to the problem that we're going to look at is a BIOS update. I knew that when I hit record. However, we don't go straight into the BIOS update because then we don't learn anything. So with that in mind, let's get into the video and we can look at how this compatibility issue plays out. Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. Got an interesting thing here. This computer just dropped into the shop. It's a custom build computer. And the customer has 8 gigabytes of RAM in it, dual 4 gigabyte modules, which are working absolutely fine, which I'm just going to turn on just to test. Now they've purchased a 16 gigabyte kit. They've got one of these alloy, I'm going to call them, 16 gig kits, and they've put it in there and it doesn't work. Now this is DDR4 3000. It's not exotic memory. There should be no problem. This should have been a just drop it in there and it just works. Switch on XMP to bump it up to 3000 and yeah, that's it. You're off to the races. But for some reason or other, it doesn't post with that memory in. Now I tested this memory in my test computer while the customer was here just to check if it was just a bad kit, and there's nothing wrong with the memory. So I thought, let's do a quick diagnostics session to see if we can figure out what's happening here. So as you can see, the thing has started. We've got 8 gigs of RAM and everything is fine. No problem whatsoever. And I'm just going to double check, and XMP is set to auto. So let's make a mental note of that because I think that might be relevant to our issue. This is the default BIOS configuration. So fine. Okay, let's turn it off. So power off, and for anyone who has spotted that we're in slots 1 and 3, I'm fully aware of that. That's where the customer had the memory when it came in. So I wanted to start off from exactly the same configuration that the customer was running. I have checked the manual for this motherboard and confirmed that this motherboard does follow the meta, which is 3 and 4 for the first memory module slots. However, as you can see, you can run different configurations and it will likely work. Just it might not be in dual channel or something like that. Either way, I'm going to drop this memory into slots 3 and 4, which is where it should be, and we'll see if it posts. Power on, power on. And also, just for additional information for the testing environment, I've currently got the drives disconnected. And I've got the graphics card out. Graphics card is not relevant to this issue. I'm currently running on the onboard graphics because where we're on an Intel platform here, we've got onboard graphics, which are just a bit more convenient for troubleshooting. So we've done this, and as you can see, it's not working. It's just power cycled. And here it's coming back on again. And spoiler alerts, it's not going to post. I'm going to leave it for a couple of cycles just for good measure, just to prove a point. I'm going to go and make a coffee, and I'm just going to leave this power cycling and see if it comes good for us, because sometimes memory training can take a while. However, the customer tells me they left it in this state for like 10 minutes and it didn't post. So yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I'll see you guys in a moment. Okay, yeah, so it hasn't posted. Fine, power off. So in an ideal world, I would then plug this memory into another computer to show you that the memory does in fact work. But I'll save you the time and just assure you that I've already done that and I know the memory works. So instead we'll move on to the next thing. So I'll try doing a BIOS reset. So I'm going to pop the CMOS battery out. So let's just pop that guy out. And we'll just leave that for a few minutes just to make sure that that is fully cleared. So I will be back momentarily once again. That'll do. Also, this CPU cooler isn't on properly and I need to fix that. But that's not important right now. Power on. Right, so again, watch this not work because I've already tried it. However, I'm about done showing you stuff that doesn't work now. We're going to move on to stuff that I think might fix this. But I just want to prove what does and doesn't work first of all. So I'm going to let it power cycle once. Still nothing. Okay. So, it doesn't work, we get it. So there's two things that I think are going on here. So firstly, this is an ASRock motherboard. It's a Z370M Pro 4. Now, our ASRock motherboards are a really weird bunch. If you're going to run into any really bizarre compatibility issues between your RAM and your motherboard, it's probably going to be when you're using an ASRock motherboard. Now, don't get me wrong, I've got an ASRock in my computer at home. I've got a X470 Tai Chi, and I've had no problems with that board. However, the fact still remains is that I've seen bizarre memory issues with ASRock boards before. So that is one possible thing I've got in mind. This Alloy brand, I don't know how long they've been about, but I have not encountered them before. I've actually bought a kit, an Alloy kit, for another build that I've got to one side. But apart from that kit that I've purchased there and these coming in today, it's the first I've seen of them. So I'm wondering if they're not on a lot of QVL lists. That's just a theory. But what I'm going to do first, I'm going to put the old memory back in. So another thing I've tried, I've got another memory stick here. If I put this one in, this is from my test rig. It's a single 8GB module, 2400. This one works just fine. So just saying, changing the memory is not the issue here. Anyway, I'm going to put the old memory back in. And what I think might be happening is, remember how we noticed that the XMP options were on automatic? I'm wondering if it's autoing into XMP and getting it wrong. So I'm going to put the old memory back in, get into BIOS and explicitly disable XMP and see if that does the job. Now, I don't think that's it, but that's just something that I want to try out. If that doesn't work, my next move is going to be just to BIOS update the motherboard and see if that does anything. Okay, right, we've got a post again. Let's delete into the BIOS. So XMP, can we do anything here? Are you joking? Have we got auto or profile? Okay, hang on a sec. Can we have advanced mode, please? Right, DRAM configuration. Load XMP setting. Ooh, see, there's no explicit disable here. This is what's got me worried. So I'm going to set DDR4 2133 in the DRAM frequencies. So I don't think it's in XMP. However, I want to be certain. So let's save that. And I'll let it go around again. And then we're going to change out the memory. Okay, so we've restarted and we're now in forced 2133 mode. So now what I'll do is I shall turn it off again. And we shall swap out to the other memory kit. There we go. Right, so now what I want to do, I'm going to move it up to slots 2 and 4, which is where it should be for correct dual channel mode. And then we'll see if we can get it up into XMP as well. So let's power it off. Right, now we're in the correct slots. So now I'm going to bump it into XMP profile 1. Oh, hang on a sec, let's go to advanced mode. So now I'm going to bump it into XMP profile 1 and we're going to boot... where the hell is DDR... Where's 3000? Is 3000 not a thing? Huh. That's a bit confusing. Why is 3000 not an option? Am I missing something here? It might be to do with the base clock. I think that's why we're getting it, because... Oh, it said base clock. Let's... Why is the base clock at 102? Did I miss something here? No, this BIOS has been reset half a dozen times. There's no way that was a customer setting. I don't know what that's all about. Either way, let's smash that in and see if we get the correct settings now. Fair enough. Let's see if that boots up into Windows with the graphics card and everything. So I'm going to turn it off again. So the issue we've got at the moment is that what we've done here is what I call a rain dance. For me, a rain dance is when you had to go through a bizarre sequence of things to make it work. You had to do a rain dance to make it work, if you see what I mean. Now, a rain dance, it will get it to work, but it's not really acceptable because you shouldn't have to. You should just be able to plug it in and it works first time. So whenever I make something work with a rain dance, the next thing I want to know is, okay, have I just managed to break it out of whatever funk it was in, or are we going to have to do that rain dance every time this BIOS gets reset? Because, yeah, sure, now it's working, but what happens the next time this BIOS gets reset for whatever reason? Do you have to do a rain dance with the old memory again? So that's not ideal. So what I want to do now is I want to go through the motions to see if I have just managed to get it working and break it out of whatever funk it was in, or whether we have actually solved nothing and just worked around using a rain dance. So let's boot into Windows and make sure that all of that actually works first of all. So I've plugged in the drives, plugged in the graphics card. Let's go all the way up to Windows. So I've just remembered that I don't actually know the password for this computer, so I guess we won't check in Windows. However, the fact that Windows has started up is a good sign. Maybe as a special treat, it'll actually shut down for me as well. There we go. Very well. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a BIOS reset, and I'm going to see if it all breaks again. So, to do my own acid test, I'm going to take the BIOS battery out, which means removing the graphics card again. Annoying. Power for the back. There we go. Just make sure there's no life there. Oop. Okay, and I'm going to leave that to reset. Now, I'm kind of hoping it's not going to work. Because if it works, I'm going to have no idea why it works. However, if it doesn't work, then that confirms my theory that we did a rain dance to make it work, and rain dances are not a solution. It's busted. I'll let it cycle one more time. Again, I shouldn't be pleased about this because it means there's still a problem. However, as far as me proving a point in this video is concerned, this is really good. Normally when I try and make videos that prove a point, the problem disappears halfway through trying to prove my point. Alright, it's still bust. Power off. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get it to post, and we need to manually drop the memory settings, then put the Alloy kit in, and then bring the memory settings back up again. It's not auto-detecting this RAM. So a BIOS update may fix this now. However, again, what we've done is we've proven that the rain dance is not an effective solution. So let's perform the rain dance again and get the thing to work, because obviously we can't move forward without getting it back to post. So we're gonna, I'm taking all of this out just so I've got access to the BIOS battery again. I didn't actually need to do that, I've just realized, but whatever. So let's pull that out. I'll stick the other kit in. Done, done, power, power, go. Okay, so at this point we could put the new memory kit back in and it would post. But it suddenly occurred to me that I don't want to do a BIOS update with the new memory kit. That's asking for trouble. So let's do our BIOS update now with the old memory fitted. So I'm going to switch over to the desktop and we're going to get ourselves some BIOS files. Okay, right, so this is an ASRock Z370M Pro 4. Z370M Pro 4. And we're going to go support. Oh, no, that's the main support. Support. BIOS. And let's see. We want the latest, version 420. Why are there two of each? Instant Flash or Windows? Okay, we want Instant Flash. So let's go with that. User will not be able to flash the previous BIOS. That's fine, we don't care. We don't recommend users to update the BIOS if their system is already running normally. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. We're going to update anyway. Yeah, that's fine. My soul is prepared. And that gives us this file here. So I'm going to copy that file onto a flash drive. And we're putting it on this CloneZilla flash drive because that's just what I've got to hand. Contrary to popular belief, it doesn't matter if there's other stuff on the flash drive. I've had lots of comments on other videos where I've been doing BIOS flashing that have said, oh, it could have picked up one of those other files from the flash drive. No, it couldn't. It won't do that. They don't do that. That's not how it works. Or at the very least, it's never ever happened to me, and I've done a lot of BIOS flashing. Make of that what you will. Right, that's done. I will safely eject the flash drive, because we always do that. Done. Right, and now we're going to go over to Tools, and let's see, Instant Flash. There we go, it's automatically picked up the file from the flash drive, and as we can see, this file name matches the one we copied to the flash drive, which is why it doesn't matter if there's other stuff on the flash drive, because you can select the file and it will say, this is the file I'm going to use. And you say, yes, that is the file you are going to use. Update. Yes, I want to update. Let's go. After pressing enter, the system will automatically reboot. Okay. Do not power off during Intel ME. Cool. That's it. I'll see you guys in a moment. Our BIOS update is complete. So now what we want to do is we want to swap out the memory, do a reset, and see if it works without the rain dance. So let's see. Well, we've got a BIOS reset first, so I'll power it off. And I'll pop the BIOS battery. We're going to do exactly the same process that we did previously. I mean, I've got the graphics card out at the moment, but that doesn't make any difference at all. That's not part of the equation here. It doesn't matter whether it's in or out for the purposes of these tests. There we go. Right, and I'm just going to check that our settings have cleared. We should find that memory speed is on automatic again, which it is. We're back into auto. Good. So the BIOS reset was successful. Good. All right, so I shall power off, and we'll swap out the memory. So if this works now, it means the BIOS update has fixed the compatibility problem with our new memory. If this doesn't work, it means you have to do a rain dance to make this memory work forever, which will kind of suck, really. And again, late video reminder, I tested this memory on another computer, another Intel system, another Z370 system, and it worked first time, no problems. So it's definitely an issue with this motherboard. And for all of you people who say, oh, you don't have these problems on Intel, you do. You do. Oh, it's worked first time, boys. There you go. BIOS update fixed it. Bam. There we go. Groovy. So that worked first time. So let's just see if we can smash that onto XMP profile 1 without going into advanced settings. And I'm just going to do F10, save and exit. And I'll drop into the BIOS and we'll just make sure that XMP took. And there we go. We're now reporting 2 modules at 3000 megahertz. Done and done. Banging. So, to summarize what we learned there, we had an issue with a new memory kit that was not working, and we were able to make it work by doing what I call a rain dance, where you go through a specific sequence of events to make the memory work. However, we proved that while you can do a rain dance to work around a problem, it's not a true solution in the long term. And while you can use a rain dance when you're diagnosing, it's not a solution that you should give to your client. It's not a long-term solution because at any point the customer may have done a BIOS reset because they started dicking around with an overclock, or something happened, or the BIOS just reset because it had a bad post, and suddenly we would have been stuck with the memory not working again. So the true solution to this memory compatibility issue was to update the BIOS. And at this point, presumably, the updated BIOS has just got a better QVL, or it's got some new microcode, or it's got something that has improved memory compatibility so that this new kit now works straight out of the box. And we've made sure that XMP is turned on, so we're at 3000 megahertz. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. As usual, my support links are down in the description below for my Discord, my Patreon, and my Twitter account, or stick around for the end screen, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone!